All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about how to overcome objections. A very, very important thing when learning how to close and make a sale. Okay. As you guys know, some of you have been here for a year plus. Some of you are newer, and to the degree that you understand how to sell and close someone will determine how much money you're going to make in your lifetime. Everybody's a sell and a close, whether it's your wife, me and you doing something together, a friend, or a customer. All right, and one of the most important things is learning how to understand the psychology of a human being and learning how to influence them so they can close. Okay, and so we're going to go over some of the key fundamental things that are needed and how to overcome an objection. Okay, so and it's very, very important that when you're starting off your day and you're making your calls, that you have the right mindset, that you prime your mind for success before you come into the office. All right, and there's a few different things that I do. I always rehearse and say things before I come to work, that I know and I'm seeing what's going to happen before it actually comes, because if I can visualize in my mind that the customer is going to tell me something or there's going to be a problem, then I don't get emotionally aroused. So you have to get your mindset right and know that the objections are going to come, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about how to get your mind ready, and then some of the most common objections and how to overcome them. And you guys have already seen some of these, and I want to know how you guys respond to them. Okay, so the first thing is when overcoming an objection, like I said, one of the first steps is anticipate it and expect it. That's the first thing. You have to anticipate objections, and you have to expect it. And you should, before you come to work, you should be thinking that, hey, the customer is going to tell me, hey, Elmer, the price is too high, the payment's too high, I don't like the payment. That's going to come up. That's going to happen. Or I don't have. What else do they say? I don't have the money for closing. I don't want you to pull my credit. I don't want a credit inquiry, right? So you're going to have to see the customer is going to be telling you that, and you're going to have to be able to overcome that. Because if you don't, that is going to determine your income, right? All the things that you want in your life, nice house, nice car, clothing, vacation, is because you have to close people to get that money. That's your money, all right? And you have to close like your life depends on it, because it does. If you want a Lamborghini, if you truly want that, you ain't going to get that unless you can close people. So remember what I always said, whoever's the most convincing wins. It's either close or be closed, right, DeAndre?
Yeah.
Either you're closing them or they're closing you. Always remember that, either close or be closed. Whoever's the most convincing wins. Okay? So the second thing is you cannot get emotionally aroused by the customer or the realtor or anyone. Don't get emotional. Whoever stays the calmest wins. Whether they're saying da 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 da, you're staying calm. You're not. If you get up to that level with them, then it makes you look like you're incompetent, that you're weak. Because see, when you have negative energy and you have positive energy, the positive energy, they're going to see, hey, this guy's calm, cool, collected, and that's gonna bring it down. If you start getting loud with them and yelling at them, you'll blow the deal. If you start screaming at them because they're getting mad, then you're gonna lose them. So you can't. And the other thing is you're gonna affect and damage your state of mind. Remember, you have to stay upbeat. You have to stay positive throughout the whole day. And you're gonna be. It's like when you come here, it's like you're being attacked, right? All day, boom, 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 boom. Stuff's coming, hitting you all over, right? And you have to stay mentally, focused and don't get off beat, because if you do, then when you get on the next call, that negative energy comes with you to the next call. And then you're talking to this guy bad now too, and then you're going to blow that deal. So the key thing is when something happens, either the appraisal falls short, the loan got declined, they don't like the payment, they want to go to another lender, they want to go to a builder. You saw today what I do with the builder. D.R. Horton wants to take the loan. Man, you ain't taking this fucking loan. You're staying with me, and now the contract's with me. You heard how I talked to the builder. That was the boss. I went above the sales rep, went to the boss. So you can't be scared. That's the third thing. You have got to be ruthless. You have to be fearless, okay? And you have to prepare your mind to think like that. Because if you're scared to call the big boss at D.R. Horton, then you're never going to get those deals. That's a $280,000 deal in Naples. If I don't close him, my wife and kids can't go to Disneyland. All right? So that's whatever is your energy or your driver, whether it's your family, you said you want to buy your wife a house. If you don't close that 350 in Vegas, your wife, you ain't getting her a house, man. And you better understand that in your mind. Because if you don't, you're not going to have the push to pick up the phone and have the balls to call the guy. You understand what I'm saying? You have to make that connection in your mind that DeAndre cannot have house if he doesn't close this person. And you're going to be closing either a builder or a realtor. They don't want to go with you. That was the first thing. I wish we would have recorded that. The realtor or the builder's telling me, we ain't paying closing, man. You can't increase the price. FHA doesn't allow it. You should have heard her on the other side. And you guys heard the call with me, and now I have a contract with $8,000 in concessions from D.R. Horton. So, and I'm not trying to make it look like I'm so special, because it doesn't always work like that. But you see, I was the more convincing, so I won. I went over them, and I was more convincing and more assertive, and I believed, and I was confident what I was saying, and I was able to convince them to do it. Okay? Now, obviously, it's not a magic bullet. It doesn't work 100% of the time. But if I can get an extra 2 or 3 deals a month, is my income going to go up? And that's the only thing that matters, right? We close the customer, and we get another contract in, right? So the other thing is that you need to be focused and intentional on the close. Always in your mind, you have to say, what's the outcome? What am I trying to do here? Oh, I'm trying to close the deal. Okay, give me the docs. What's the credit score? What's the income? I'm going straight to the key questions. What kind of house do you want? Right? So you have to be intentional and deliberate. Hey, I need to close this guy. So are you asking dumb questions? How's the weather? That doesn't matter. Remember what did Grant talk about? Take the close from here and bring the close up to here. Okay, what do you want to buy? What type of, you want a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom house? I got some badass houses for you right over here in the Woodlands. They got granite countertops, awesome cabinets. They're smoking hot. They got stone in the front. You're going to love them. I'm going to take you to show you. You're getting excited. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. So you're going to get them turned on about the house, right? And then, hey, well, what's your credit score at? Just ask them. Oh, it's 640. Okay. What's the income? It's $6,000 a month. It's $3,000 a month. It's $2,000 a month. Go into the key questions and qualify right there in under 5 minutes and see if you have a deal. All the other stuff about how much does your kid weigh, what school they go to, none of that matters, right? So quickly, be intentional about what you're trying to do here. Just close them out, right? So that's the fourth thing is, to be intentional and deliberate about the close. So what did I just say?
Yeah, be intentional and deliberate about the close.
So what does that mean to you?
It means that obviously you always want to ask the key questions. Don't beat around the bush. Make sure that you're getting the right answers or getting the answers that you want. Okay. Don't try and just make conversation. You're always trying to pre-qualify and get them excited and get them pre-qualified in your initial phone call to be able to get the docs in and get them approved.
Okay. So and so let's say like when you go to the doctor, and the doctor, if he's gonna check you, see if you're okay, you want him to ask those questions to you, right? Hey man, how do you feel, DeAndre? Oh, you said you have pain in your back? If he's talking about playing golf, you're gonna get upset because he's not trying to make sure you're okay. See, I'm asking going right into the house. What kind of house do you want? Where do you want to live? What inspires you? See that? He cares. He wants to know what kind of house. So you see that you see what I'm saying? I'm not making small. So don't waste time. Like whenever a couple weeks ago you were taking full credit apps on people that had a 500 credit score. Hey man, I ain't gonna spend this time with you. You got a 500 credit score. Go fill it out online, right? Yeah. Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
What's your credit score at, man? 480? Well, you need to go over here and fill this thing out, or go to credit repair. If they say it's 600 or 580, then I'm gonna But don't go straight into that. First, talk to them a little bit about the house, right? Get them a little excited, and then go into the qualifying questions. But try to keep it under 5 minutes, right? So the last thing is that you have to create the irresistible offer. right? We talk about the stack offer. Don't forget, Elmer, what's the stack offer to you? Tell me how you give a stack offer to somebody.
You basically let them know everything that's going to be included, like what the package is when they go with you. You're letting them know that closing costs are taken care of. We're looking for down payment assistance, so that's going to save them money right there. They're going to use our realtors. They're not going to pay them any commissions. You know, in some cases, we can take care of the appraisal, be entered for a giveaway. So you're basically giving them everything that would be included, so that they're not focused on either rate, they're not focused on down payment or a closing cost or anything like that. You're kind of packaging everything together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and by giving someone present as a stack, it's almost like it's too irresistible. I can't turn it down. And you might have to bring up that stack offer a few times. Let me just remind you what you're going to get with us. You're going to get 2 months no payments. You're getting up to $10,000 down payment assistance. I'm registering for the first time buyer tax credit. You said the other lender didn't even know what that was. And with this other company, you had to bring $7,000 to close. Here, you're only bringing $1,900 to close. You see, so you're doing that with them in their mind, right? Because this is all psychology with a person, right? So those are some of the main things that when you're trying to close somebody, as far as what to expect and how to get prepared for the day. Now, as far as the most common objections. What are some of the most common objections that you see, and how do you handle them?
Mainly it's people not wanting to pull the credit because they're scared that it might drop or something.
Okay, so they say, hey, DeAndre, I don't want you to pull the credit. I don't want another inquiry. A hard inquiry is going to drop my score.
Right.
Now, how do you respond to that?
Well, what I usually would just say would be, I understand where you're coming
Always
from.
agree.
Yeah.
Always agree with the
empathize
customer.
with them. And just explain, as far as it's really not, contrary to popular belief, inquiries are not really that big of an impact on the score. They actually have the lowest impact out of all things on the credit score. Mm-hmm. So in most cases, if it were to affect it, it would usually be only a couple of points. But the thing about it is, in order for you to get a home loan anyways, we're going to have to pull the credit and actually see what we can do.
Right.
So I'm here to help you out, get credit repair if we need to. But, let's kind of get this thing rolling.
Right. Right. So one of the things that he said early on is that you always want to agree with the customer. You never want to disagree or tell the customer no. Okay, you always want to agree with, it doesn't matter whether, I'm not saying the customer is always right, but I'm saying you have to agree with the customer, right? So they gave you the objection. Hey, DeAndre or Elmer, I don't want you to pull my credit because it's giving me another inquiry, and as it drop my score 80 points. You say, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. And then you're going to tell them, well, no, this is how it works. Actually, you're allowed 5 inquiries by the Fair Credit Reporting Act before it ever affects your score. And if we're going to give you the money to buy the house, we actually have to check and see what your debt ratio is and see where your score's at. So this is not going to hurt your credit. What will hurt your credit is not paying your bills on time. And so you're going to explain to them, and then say, okay, I understand. I can't think of anyone that I've ever told that to who said, no, man, I still don't want you to do it. Okay, I can't think of a time when somebody has said that to me. So, but that's the process of someone says that, hey, I don't want you to run. So if you expect that they're going to tell you that, then you're not going to be shocked when they say it, right? So if they say that to you next time, how are you going to handle it?
The same question about the credit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I just want to let you know that usually with any credit inquiries, they don't really affect your score too much, and it is very important for us to go ahead and take a look at your credit because, once you're trying to find a house, we got to make sure, what your debt to income ratio is, what your debts are, and if you need a little bit of help with your credit, we'll be able to assist you and get your score up to where it needs to be. Now, anywhere that you go, to start this process, it will require them to pull your credit, so it will have to be done, and like I said, we'll be able to help you out with that.
And you know what I use sometimes? I use analogies. We'll say, hey, let me ask you a question, Jesus. When you go to the doctor and if they have to check your heart rate to make sure that your heart's beating okay, do you deny them access to that? Are you not going to let them check your heart or your weight if they need to make sure that your heart's beating okay? Are you going to say no? It's the same thing. I have to check this because it's vital to you getting into your home, your new home. So you see, the point is analogies. Analogies, you hear me use them all the time. Because then they say, oh yeah, because a lot of people you talk to, they're in the medical field, they get it. Oh, he said that. Okay, I get that now because, oh, you want to check the blood? A lot of people don't want their blood checked, man. They think it's too scary. Well, then you might die then, sir, because I need to check this. Right? So you can use that analogy. It's really good. What about Elmer? What's one that you see a lot of?
Maybe like if they need to pay down some debt to be able to make the ratios work. Like, well, I don't have any money. Like, I'm not able to get that done or something like that. Usually, the way I handle that is tell them, hey, this is the house that you like. This is the price range that you like. We can definitely look at something lower, but if you're set on this home and you really like this home, then let's find a way to make that happen. Whether we need to refinance the car, we need to do whatever it is to bring that debt down so that they can qualify for that home. So sometimes like that's out of their comfort zone where they don't want to, either ask family members for money to pay down some debt or go with a bank and see what they can qualify for refinancing the car. So just making sure that gets done.
Right. So how do you? So that's the objection that you get is that they don't have the funds. And
How do I overcome it?
yeah, how do you? Because
Yeah, you basically cement the fact that if this is the house they want, if this is what it's going to take to get them into their home and be happy for the next 30 years, then wouldn't it be worth it? I mean, doesn't it make sense to be uncomfortable right now for a day or two getting this stuff done, but having 30 days or 30 years of happiness in your new home? What's the trade-off there? And so when they see it that way, it usually works.
Okay. So another one that I see a lot of, and I think also because of some of the clientele that we work with, is that the payment's too high. You guys see that a lot? I just had that happen to me today with this guy in Naples, and so he wanted his payment, $280,000 home. He wanted the payment at $1,750 a month. All right. And he's been pre-approved for a few months now. He's going under contract with D.R. Horton. The payment's $1,900. He said, no, I can't do that. It's too much. I'm going to go find a cheaper house. All right. And what I told him is I said, hey, listen, man, it's better to pay a little bit extra and get what you want as opposed to paying less and making a mistake. You can't take the money with you, Jose. It's better to live rich than die rich. And when I told him that, dude, he just he paused, and he's like, Angela, I see what you're saying, man, but I can't make the payment, man. I said, look, here's the thing, man. After you close, you get up to 2 months no house payments. He's like, really? I get up to 2 months no? I said, yeah, you get up to 2 months no house payments. He's like, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, you remember? We talked to you about that in the beginning, and I was like, it's all in your mind, dude. If you want this house, your income's going to go up. Your income's not going to stay the same. You'll figure it out. You'll make it happen. This house will inspire you and motivate you to create more income, to produce more. Right? And then I told him, I said, look, if you think that payment's too high, that's a broke mentality. Open your mind, and you can always create more. And anyway, the dude, he totally was mesmerized by me telling him that because I put him in his place. Right? And he needed somebody to close him and put him in his place. Right? And I was more influential, and he believed it, and which is true because all that is a state of mind. It's a mindset. Right? We talked about this the other day, how we were all raised in a broke mindset where scarcity. Oh, turn off that light, boy. Right? Eat all that food on their plate. Stay small. Stay down. Don't think big. Don't dream big. Stay little. And now they didn't maybe say it to you that way, but that's when somebody thinks like that, that's what's happening to them. They stay down in life, all right? They don't figure out how to create and generate and produce. And so, like I told you, anytime that I bought something in the last few years, I've never worried about the price because I could always figure out how to create more. And the price is mythical. It's a made-up number. And so it's a very, very powerful thing once you understand that with people. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to make it look like it works all the time because there's times when it doesn't work. Some people are so fearful and so scared that it's still. We had a guy last week where no matter what I told him, he just wasn't going to do it. Delbert, whatever his name was. So, but if I just keep coming at it like that, I'm going to close more than I'm going to lose, and my income will go up because you're going to have these. You're going to have these objections come up. You're going to have to learn and get comfortable on talking to people like that. All right, and like that's why I'm saying you have to be fearless. You have to be ruthless. If you're not, then when that shit comes at you, you're just gonna crumble. And instead of closing 10 deals a month, you're gonna close 3, because that's just people felt sorry for you, or they needed the house that bad, and they just fucking closed. Right? You're gonna have to know. You're gonna have to cut through realtors. You're gonna have to fight with builders, and you're gonna have to get comfortable doing that. And that's gonna help build you up, man, to be so confident that you can handle big monster deals, and then you'll start closing 350s, 600s, 1 millions, and not 80K, because you know how to handle those people. You know, but you have to learn how to manage your customer and their emotions, because they're going to come at you, man. And if you're not in the right state of mind, then when it hits you, you're just gonna, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to handle it. So, what about? Do you ever guys get one? Another one I always see a lot of is that this is a scam. Do you ever get that? Does anyone ever get that? Okay, how do you handle that, Jesus?
Let them know. I understand, why you would feel this way. I can assure you that, while we are located here in Texas, our corporate office is located in California. We do deals all across the U.S. and most of the 50 states. Also, we have a secured website. It's a bank-level security. So if you ever feel, scared about sending any of your documents, you could always submit them online. We close many deals all over the U.S. A lot of our people come from Florida, Arkansas, like I said, like just all over. So, I understand why you would be scared, but I can assure you that everything that we do here, it's just for your benefit to be able to get you into your house.
Okay. Now, one thing that I would say that I want to suggest to you, and we talked to us about before, is remember the tone is very important. Okay. And you remember what I asked you, or I told you guys last week, that you need to be very mindful about how you're making someone feel. You see how your voice is very soft, and what I would suggest is that you raise your tone a little bit to more confident, right? So that way that this guy sounds like he's really sure, because if you have a higher tone and it sounds more authoritative or more assertive, you see how I said assertive, then it sounds more believable, right? Versus, well, yeah, we're licensed in Texas, and our corporate office is in California, and yeah, we lend nationwide. That the customer is not waking their brain, not slapping them. Hey, okay, you see what I'm saying? So you have to wake them up and say, hey man, this guy's. Do you ever see that a police officer do that, right? Hey man, step over here, boy. You ever see that? I remember one time I was going to the Super Bowl, and the guy was driving the park, and it was at the Astrodome, or the center, and the guy was driving out of the line to park, and the cop came and grabbed the door and opened it like that, and then grabbed the guy, and the guy was so scared he started crying. So, that's how they make it. They do it on purpose. So they're trained in police academy to make people feel like that, because they know that the other party's gonna. I'm not saying that you have to scream at the customer, but just get your tone. Like we talked about how an actor prepares, right? How Brad Pitt prepares for a role. You have to get the mind in that you're coming here, like when you go back today and you start to sell again, that you want to come off as the expert, the authority, right? You see, if you're just talking mindless, and there's not an adjustment in the tone, then you're not gonna close as many deals. So just always remember that you prepare your mind like an actor to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's very, very powerful. So anyway, this is the main thing on how to overcome objections. Those are the top ones that we get, and yeah, just be ready for when every single day when they come. And it's not just here; it's at your house too, right? You're always it's like Grant talks about, sell or be sold. Don't ever forget that. So anyway, thank you guys so much for checking us out. And you guys, if you want to learn more, check us out on Mortgage University. It's our awesome platform. We teach you how to make 6 figures in 6 months. I'm Angelo Christian. You can follow us on all our social media. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.